Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael, and we're going to be getting right back into some more Reddit stories. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a user named Large Knowledge in the AITA subreddit. The post is titled AITA for calling divorce immediately after finding out my wife emotionally cheated on me. I found out my wife was having an emotional affair last week. I discovered it through a notification when she was in the shower. We are both 33 and have been married for 6 years. In my eyes, everything was good. It's funny how one can hide their betrayal without the other party noticing. I confronted her right away and told her to open her phone to show me the messages. She refused at first but gave up after I told her we are getting a divorce. The texts were not that old and there were not many. It was obvious that most of the texts had been deleted. I asked her questions about the affair: why, who, where, how. I will not go into details as I want to stay anonymous, but I was trickle-truthed in the end. She got caught and trickle-truthed me. I do not believe her and what she said about the extent of their relationship. At the beginning of our relationship, I made it very clear that cheating in any form is a relationship ender. I told her to get a lawyer because we are getting divorced. She asked for marriage counseling, promised to change, and even offered to make her life completely dependent on me, leave her job, not leave the house, and give me all of her digital devices. I told her that marriage counseling would have been helpful before she decided to have an affair. We could have gone to marriage counseling and solved the problem there by talking about whatever issues she had. Instead, she went on to have an emotional affair and made sure to actively hide things from me by deleting texts and trickle-truthing. I reminded her of my boundaries and what I told her about them at the beginning of the relationship. I will hand her the divorce papers this month and she is telling me to reconsider. Am I the asshole in this situation? Update. It's 100% divorce now. I think I was looking to relax and validate my logic with that post. Love is there, but trust is broken. My heart told me to have hope, but my logic told me to divorce. Logic won in the end. It has been over a week now and I still do not have the full information about the affair. Yesterday night and this morning after the post, I came to learn new information about the affair. I am still not sure if it's the full extent. To clarify the emotional affair part, they sexted, sent nude photos to each other, and there were I love yous involved. If that's not cheating, I don't know what is. Whatever, I still do not know the full truth, and she refuses to disclose who exactly this person is. My trust level for her is so low that she could say the sky is blue and I would doubt it. This relationship is just over, dead. I will go ahead with the divorce as soon as possible so I can process my feelings alone after she leaves. Some people told me I would not be able to find anyone at 33 as a male. This is the last thing I worry about after the divorce. The first thing is to get over the relationship and put myself together better than ever. I'm planning to start individual therapy right after I sort things out. I can date after that easily. I hope to see you with a happy divorce update and in a better mood. A deleted user said, "What a dumb thing to say." Firstly, because it's irrelevant, nobody should stay in a marriage where trust has been broken just because dating would be hard. And secondly, because it's just not true. 33 isn't much older than the average age of first marriage for men and way younger than the average age of second marriage. Many men really enter their prime eligibility in their 30s as they've established their careers by then. User Jeremy frankly said, "I don't think sexting and sending nude photos constitutes an emotional affair. I'm pretty sure that's just cheating. An emotional affair typically involves attention, intimacy, crossing boundaries of conversation with someone, and infringing on the partner part of your partnership. This situation is sexual." User Black Cat Love said, "Some people told me that I would not be able to find anyone at 33 as a male. I can assure you that's not true. I met my current boyfriend when I was 31 and he was 33. A friend of mine met her current boyfriend when she was 31 and he was 38. Age has absolutely nothing to do with it." This second post was made in the marriage subreddit by a user named Equal Foundation. The post is titled, "Would you end a marriage over something that happened years ago? I have been thinking about this since Sunday night. I need some perspective. I know it's ancient history, but I feel so hurt. 7 years ago, when I was 21, I was dating my now husband, Paul, for over a year. I was a university student and working too. Paul got a great job opportunity within his company, but in Canada. He wanted me to leave with him, but I wanted to finish my studies first. We started dating long distance, but it was really hard. He was spoiling me rotten every time he visited me. One time, he booked a resort for a ski trip. I realized that I had forgotten to pack my birth control pills. I told Paul and he said it wasn't a big deal. He went and bought condoms. We had a great vacation. We drank a lot. So much of it is a blur. I found out I was pregnant. I was feeling like an idiot because I should have been more careful and packed my birth control pills. Paul was so kind and said he would support me and be there for me and the baby. I dropped out of school. We had a courthouse wedding and I moved to Canada with him. He was wonderful with the baby. He is a great husband and helps around so much. We decided to have another baby when my firstborn was 3, but unfortunately it ended up being a stillbirth. I couldn't carry a baby after that. I have gone back to school now and am doing fine. Last weekend, my husband and I were cuddling on the couch watching Netflix. I was telling him how happy I am that we live in Canada now. He said, "Yeah, agreed." He then accidentally said, "Getting you pregnant was the smartest thing I have ever done." I said, "Well, technically, I was the careless one who forgot to pack my birth control pills." He said, "Well, technically no. I threw them away and made you think that way. I never used condoms either, and you were too drunk to care." I was floored. He said he wanted me to move and have a happy life. There was no future for you in a small city. You now have a house, a husband, a perfect kid, and are studying. I'm so disgusted by him. He tried to explain, but I'm not ready to talk to him. My sister thinks that while what he did was wrong and stupid, it all worked out. She thinks it's stupid to break a family over something he did years ago. She says I should move on and focus on the future. I'm so full of rage and can't get over it. Is there a way to move on from this? Update. Thank you for your honest feedback. I really appreciate it. I had a long, calm chat with my husband. He was surprised I was so worked up about it. He said he was an idiot, but he wasn't malicious. He said you wanted to stay longer back home, and he was tired of the long-distance relationship. He talked about how he was a dumb guy back then, but he took responsibility and discussed the things we went through and how happy our current life is. He said he loves me and never meant to hurt me. He wanted a future with me and just acted impulsively. I told him about going to therapy. He said I should go because I never went after our losses, especially after losing our second baby. He also told me to talk to our family doctor about depression. He thinks I'm so obsessed with the past and how things could have been different because I'm depressed after my losses. I'm going to talk to our doctor soon and ask around about a therapist who has experience with grief. At this point, that's it. Thank you, everyone. User Futures Dawn said, "Excuse me, he was a dumb guy back then. He was 31 years old. This behavior would be unacceptable even if he were 21, but he was 31. This whole thing made me ill." To this, User Majestic Constant said, "He was just a silly little 31-year-old guy who could be considered to have committed a serious offense against his girlfriend, because he's just a guy who doesn't seem to see her as a human being. This guy grosses me out, and I hope OP wakes up and puts on her big girl pants one day to actually solve her problems." User Feral 2021 Energies said, "Girl, just leave. The fact that he so casually admitted to it to you when he thought he had control over you shows his true nature. Dump him and take him for all he's got. Some updates just fill me with frustration." User RubyTX said, "He derailed OP's life because his plans were so much more important than hers. I mean, what if she decided she didn't want him? Couldn't have that. And he doesn't regret doing so. He'd do it again if he thought she wouldn't fall in line. In fact, he is doing it again. That tag is underselling the rage of this story." This third and final post was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named PrankUser. The post is titled, "I punched my stepdaughter after she played a prank on me. I know the title sounds bad, but please read and throw away, plus fake names. I married Judd a few years ago and acquired a stepdaughter, Abby, as a result. I dated Judd when Abby was 8, met her when she was 9, and married Judd when Abby was 10. I'd say our relationship is okay. She doesn't act bratty towards me and respects me enough as her mom's husband. However, there is one glaring issue with her, and that is her pranking nature. Abby loves to pull pranks. Some examples are her hiding my car keys in a box that looked like it had $100 bills in it. I found them quickly because she failed to notice my keys have duct tape on them. Another one is when she hid in the fridge to scare the first person who opened it. Well, last Wednesday, I arrived home and it seemed that I was the only one there. Only my shoes were at the doorstep, and I even called out Judd's and Abby's names with no answer. This is somewhat normal as Judd sometimes works late and Abby stays at school for extracurricular activities. So I played around with my dog for a bit and then I decided to relieve myself. When I got to the bathroom, I noticed that the window cabinet was open. I thought nothing of it at first and unzipped my pants, but then I saw a shadow behind the shower curtains. I thought the worst and immediately punched the figure behind the curtains. Well, as everyone may have guessed from the title, it was Abby. She was making a prank video and had propped her phone up on the bathroom cabinet with 2 cups. I'm not going to lie, I did not hold back. I punched her as hard as I could. Her nose looked broken, and when I realized it, I flipped out, and so did she. After maybe 5 minutes of freaking out, I drove her to urgent care and informed Judd of the situation. Her nose was indeed broken and would need about 6 to 12 weeks of recovery. Abby won't talk to me, and as for Judd, she thinks that my action may have been justified, but also thinks I should have approached with more caution, which she has refused to elaborate on. So, am I the asshole in this situation? User Original Nightmare said, not the asshole. Get a copy of the video. If Abby starts complaining to people about how her stepdad broke her nose, you are looking at potential legal trouble. Get and keep a copy of the evidence that she startled you while you were using the bathroom. You need to sit Judd and Abby down and have a serious conversation. Filming without consent while someone is in the bathroom is a massive invasion of privacy and illegal in many places. If she did this to another kid, it could be considered a serious offense. While you are in the bathroom, you feel vulnerable with your pants down and genitals exposed. These feelings increase the fight or flight response in the brain, and it's understandable that you reacted on instinct. Please include in your conversation with Abby that you love her and never meant to hurt her. User No Scarcity said, this is so unfortunate. People get killed for this kind of thing. She's lucky she's alive. That's the normal reaction. To fight. As messed up as this is, stick firm because this is a life lesson. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Fortunately, it's all on tape, right? So you're protected. What she did is actually what's unforgivable. Her dumb antics are going to get someone killed or put in jail. Her mother needs to address this. Not one more prank, ever. User Dismal Soil said, not the asshole. If everything went as you said and Abby regularly pranks people, something like this was bound to happen at some point. Although incredibly unfortunate, as others have noted, she was lucky this didn't get her killed. There are stories all the time about kids getting shot in the face for turning up unannounced at the wrong door. Hopefully, she has learned her lesson and will stop doing these things once and for all. I would like to add that I find prank culture incredibly wrong. A joke should make all parties ultimately happy. Stress and fear can have serious mental and physical consequences, and the three of you could benefit from family therapy or mediation to work through this experience towards a better relationship. Update. It's been a chaotic week. Judd still refused to elaborate on how the situation should have been handled. I showed her the post as a result and she did a 180 turn. She suddenly thought it may be time to stage an intervention and I agreed. We brought some of her friends as well as my cousin's wife, Jess. Jess is an officer from another state and Abby seems to respect her. In this intervention, we stated how we were each affected by her various pranks and how in turn they affected her. Jess also spoke about how many of these pranks border on criminal territory, meaning Abby could be arrested or face retaliation. It seemed to have gotten to her and Abby cried a bit and promised to do better. When everybody else left, Jess stayed behind and brought to our attention a disciplinary camp that we could send Abby to. The program is 6 weeks long and involves group therapy, individual therapy, and constructive projects, and is held on a university campus. The program apparently has good reviews. Judd seems dead set on sending her to figure out her core problems. I'm a little hesitant about sending a kid away from home, but I'm the step-parent, so I have no say. Edit. Okay, I swear Judd must be following my posts because now she's taking back what she said and is now thinking about doing what I and you fellow readers suggested in the first place, weekly therapy. So we agreed that I'm going to find a therapist and I'm going to cover the bill for it since she didn't take this seriously in the first place. Update 2. Well, it's been about 7 months and there have been a few developments. Let's address some more things before getting there. Up until recently, I have been still getting messages asking why this brat is still in my house, why I am friends with Jess, and why I named my wife Judd in my posts. I was drinking when I made my first post. I saved a draft and went back to it after a few hours of sobering up, fixing a bunch of grammatical mistakes, but some got overlooked and it just stuck. I was planning on calling her Judy. Jess and I are not friends. She is married to my cousin with whom I have a good relationship, as well as their 2 daughters and Jess's daughter. Jess has a serious problem with boundaries. As for why Abby was still living with me, you have to understand that I, her stepfather, broke Abby's, my stepdaughter's, nose. If word got out, it would look really bad. I would be seen as an abuser and may have even been arrested. Several comments have pointed out that I should have saved that video for my own safety. I was pretty much going insane at that point, and my wife thought nothing of it, thinking I should have just let this go until I showed her my original post. To be honest, I wanted to keep the intervention we had smaller without involving her friends because I felt they did not need to know about it. I just wanted her grandparents and Jess to show up, but I was convinced otherwise. We decided that we would send Abby to weekly therapy. We were under the agreement that I would find and pay for it, and if it worked, my wife would pay me back. It did work. Abby improved a lot. She has realized how much damage she has done and is working to improve things. She has even begun to do volunteer work, which I didn't think she would do. She has apologized profusely, realizing how disgusting her prank was. She has also deleted her TikTok account, claiming that's where she got all the ideas from. We decided we would get her a new smartphone for her birthday 3 months ago as a reward for the improvement she's shown. As for my wife and me, I gave her an ultimatum. Since therapy worked for Abby, it would be time for us to go to couples therapy or else we would separate. We were having problems before this whole incident occurred, and now it kind of has to be forced. Over the past 2 years, we've been living more like roommates, and her enabling behavior is finally causing things to fall apart. She reluctantly agreed. It ended up being short-lived. She spoke during our sessions about how I take things out of proportion and how I went too far by posting the incident online. She revealed that she was indeed following my posts, and that's why she changed her mind about the camp. Our therapist then asked us both if we loved each other at all. I was honest and said yes, but it's becoming difficult. My wife, on the other hand, said she was in love with the idea of me. I needed a minute to process if I heard that right, and she went on about how I was apparently a catch. I was younger than her, had a stable job, and owned a house, and she thought my loyalty was a bonus. I don't know why, but I asked her if she had cheated on me, and she said no. But it doesn't matter, she just revealed that she settled for me. I filed for divorce 2 months ago. We had a prenuptial agreement, so things are going smoothly, other than her erroneously claiming some jewelry is hers, but my lawyer seems to think that it should be finalized within 1 to 2 months. So my soon-to-be ex-wife has moved out along with Abby. My dog misses them, she just sits by the door waiting for hours for them to come back. My soon-to-be ex-wife is not happy about how things have progressed. She has been calling me a spineless bastard who couldn't just tolerate how things are and has been saying to everyone who will listen. But behind closed doors, she's been blaming Abby for her divorce, claiming it was her behavior that caused it. I know this because she has called me and texted me semi-regularly. Abby is living with her grandparents because apparently her mother can't deal with her right now. I actually liked my in-laws. They were really good people and they've apologized for their daughter's actions and even offered to reimburse me for Abby's therapy sessions. They told me that they were going to take care of Abby because it seems her mother has finally lost it. I spoke with Abby and assured her that this wasn't her fault, and that chances are we were going to divorce regardless. She then told me that she didn't want me to leave and that I was the closest thing to a father she ever had. This surprised me. I never really saw myself as a parental figure for Abby. I only really did the minimum. Outside of that, I just paid for school events and supplies and would carve out some time for her, but I left it up to her if she wanted to spend time with me. I told her that maybe when she turns 18, we can pick up where we left off, but until then, I don't think we can see each other. Her mother would definitely try to keep her away from me, and to be honest, I need some time away from Abby as well. Things are so quiet at home that it's relaxing. So there you go. I don't even care if my soon-to-be ex-wife finds this post. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video, and thank you also to partner of the channel, Gamersupps. Use code DLAM to support the channel and get 10% off of your purchase, link in the description. I'm sure many of you like me have a hankering for daily caffeine, so go check them out. Lately, I've been a big fan of Titty Milk and Acid Rain, but they've got dozens of other flavors for y'all to try out. Anyway, thanks again for reaching the end, and I hope you all have an amazing passage of the next 24 hours.